This is Straight Talk Consulting with CEO and owner Kevin Holmes. Kevin is a real estate investor and motivational speaker who helps people become investors and achieve their dreams. So, in today's segment, we'll be discussing the importance of having an additional revenue source or an additional revenue stream. So, how are you today, Kevin?
I'm feeling good today.
Wonderful. So, let's get into it. What's the importance of having an additional revenue source?
Well, I think the mistake that a lot of people do, everybody wants a nice house, call it a dream home, whatever.
Yeah.
And
That's the American dream, right?
right, yeah. So, but what happens is, say you go, you and your husband and your wife, and you guys come together, or and want to buy a home, right? And he's making 100, you're making 85. And it's like, okay, you guys make good salary, make $185,000 a year together, and they say, okay, you could be qualified for a $600,000 house. So you like, okay, we've been renting, we want to buy a new home, and that's great. So you go, you get pre-approved, and then you go and you purchase this home. You do your saving, you do FHA loan, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
Live an American dream, right? And that's great. But what happens when a person goes and buys homes, you have nothing else but the job supporting it.
Okay.
So if your wife or your husband loses their job, you're in a situation.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Well, I think most people have like at least a couple of months of savings, no? That should tie them over?
Well, you really should have 6 months to a year savings, but realistically, how many people really have that, right?
Yeah, that's true. We're all living paycheck to paycheck,
Right.
or most people.
Right. So if you've been able to buy a home, and we talked about in the other video the wow factor and all of that stuff, but just to be able to get the home and then you buy the home, this is all new to you. So if you have went another route, and I tell people what's important is to buy a multifamily first.
Okay.
All right. So if you went and I tell people before you get married, you take out an FHA loan, she take out an FHA loan.
Okay.
Okay.
And why is that?
Because it's supposed to be a primary residence. So he buys his multifamily, she buys their multifamily before they're married, and you only got to stay in there for 12 months, and then you can rent it out. So then now you guys come together. She has a 3-family, you have a 2-family or a 3-family. So now when you guys come together to buy your dream home, you have 3 rents coming in from her property, 3 rents coming in from his property, right? So let's just say your profit is $1,000 after all the expenses paid. That's $2,000 that you're getting to come into the pot. So now you go and buy a $600,000 mortgage, and your mortgage is $3,500. It's only costing you $1,500 because the other properties that you and your fiance bought, y'all having other streams of income coming and support it.
Okay, so if we're downsized, the corporation downsizes, one of us is out of a job,
Right.
we have that additional revenue source to keep us afloat.
Exactly. And not only that, and what I'll tell people too, it's one of those things that I think is important that I would tell my own kids. Buy your investment property before you get married.
Okay.
And the reason why, because it keeps everybody on a equal playing field, because we're together because we want to, not because we have to, right?
Okay.
So now she has her investment property, you have your investment property. Y'all come together and buy this property together.
Yeah, I think that's an ideal situation. I can see where you're coming from with that.
Right, because it just makes a huge difference. I think on the respect level as a man and as a woman, knowing that she has her stuff and he has his. And I think that's what's important. And you going 3.5% down FHA loan, you got to stay in it a year. That's the way you go. So we always talk about generation wealth. So now you have a family, now you have a couple of kids. Now you have 2 investment properties. When you pass on, now you have the house that you live in, plus you have 2 investment properties.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do. And then it goes back into what you were saying as far as having that additional revenue coming in, that additional stream to help offset some of those costs
Exactly.
for the primary residents.
So one of the things that I always say, it's OPFYL.
And what does that stand for?
That stands for other people financing your lifestyle.
Okay.
Okay. So we talk about the American dream. That's the real American dream. Okay, you make the initial investment and you make sure somebody else is financing your lifestyle. So that's what you want to do. And you can do it by doing the system that I'm telling you to do. And let's say if things don't work out with the marriage, because it's a possibility, but it's a possibility.
Well, the divorce rate in the U.S. is what, 50%?
Over 50%.
Okay.
So if it doesn't work, you're not going back to live with your mother. You move back into your investment property. Right?
It makes sense.
But it's
makes
true.
Sense. No, it is. It definitely.
So
makes
these
sense.
are the things that you have to think about. So it's like, securing your armor, right? Going out there into war. You want to just try to do as much as you can to support yourself. And it's kind of like a life jacket, right? Mm-hmm. So if things don't work out, we can't rely on these jobs. We have all these people that are unemployment, or they have all these degrees and they can't find a job.
This is true.
Right.
And that's so unfortunate.
Right.
They still have those student loan debt.
Exactly.
That resume when? October.
So these are the things that's important. So listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to be having more different videos. And you guys can go to straighttalktoday.com.